Hi, everyone. My name is Terry Brown. I'm with the Small Business Center here at Central Carolina Community College, and thank you for joining us today for Tools to Support Rural Business Development with the NC Rural Center. Today we have with us Laura Lawfer, Jalisha Richmond, and Jamila Hawkins. So if this is your first time on a webinar with us today, welcome, and let me explain a little bit about how the platform is going to work. On your screen, you should see three icons. One that says raise your hand, one that says chat, and one that says Q&A. So during the call today, if you have any questions along the way or any comments or any concerns, please post them in the chat or the Q&A, and we will get to all of your questions before we wrap up today. Also, if you're not able to attend the full webinar or if you've missed a portion of it, no problem. We'll be sending you copies of the slide presentation, and you'll get a link to the webinar replay within the next couple of days. So, you know, a little bit about us here at the Small Business Center. If you're not familiar with Small Business Centers, we have one located at each community college within the state. And basically what we do is we're here to help people establish businesses or to grow their business, and we do that through one-on-one consultation, and we also do that through webinars like the one today and various seminars on different topics. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Laura Lawfer, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the North Carolina Growing Together project. So thank you, Laura, for joining us.
Good afternoon, everybody. I apologize, our slides are a little out of order. That's on me. I hope you all know about NC Growing Together. This is our second year of this webinar series, and we have been working with supply chain efforts throughout the state to help farmers and fisher people and food businesses become more productive and have access to greater markets. And we recognize that there is a need for better understanding of basic business concepts and resources to help those businesses thrive. And so fortunately, we've been collaborating with the Small Business Center Network throughout North Carolina on this partnership. And this webinar series is part of that to help small business centers have more knowledge about agricultural resources in the state that they can in turn use as they're working with their clients. And so that's the role of NCGT has been, for this project, has been working on this collaboration. I highly recommend you check out the North Carolina Growing Together website. We have many, many resources for food, farming, and fishing businesses. And when you receive this PDF of this webinar and the YouTube link to the webinar, you will also receive a link to other resources that will benefit you. So with that, we're going to move forward with our webinar with the Rural Center. We're thrilled to have Jamila and Jalisha with us today. Jamila joined the Rural Center in 2017, and she's now the Senior Program Manager for Food and Community Development, and she will talk to you more about what her role is. And Jalisha has recently transitioned to work with Thread Capital, which we're really excited about this new lending resource for rural businesses in North Carolina. And so Jalisha will be talking about that new Rural Center partnership with Thread Capital. So I hope y'all will get a lot of good information and realize that the Rural Center is a fantastic partner to food, farming, and fishing businesses in North Carolina. So with that, I will hand it over to y'all. Welcome, Jamila and Jalisha. You there, Jalisha? Jalisha, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
There it goes. Well, thank you, Laura, and good afternoon, everyone. Jalisha and I are delighted to be a part of this webinar and to discuss the exciting opportunities and programs that are underway at the North Carolina Rural Center.
It's not.
My name is Laura Hawkins, and I serve as the Senior Program Manager for Food and Community Development at the Rural Center. Just to give you a little bit of background information about the Rural Center, the North Carolina Rural Center is a private nonprofit located in Raleigh.
Hey, Jalisha, I don't mean to interrupt you, but could you get a little bit closer to your mic? You're a little bit muted. We can see perfectly. We just need to hear you a little bit better.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, carry on.
Well, we're so delighted to be here today. The North Carolina Rule Center is a private nonprofit located here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we've been around for 30 years. Our mission is to develop, promote, and implement sound economic strategies to improve the quality of life of rural North Carolinians. And we do this work by serving the state's 80 rural counties with a special focus on individuals with low to moderate incomes and communities with limited resources. Data and research are the heart of the Rule Center's work, and we believe that from our most remote places to the highest level of state government, unbiased data is critical for building sustainable communities and sound public policy. We are active promoters of leadership that is inclusive, connected, informed, and creative. And the Rule Center nurtures the state's next generation of rural leaders. So some of these initiatives include our Homegrown Leaders program, and you can see the picture up in Western North Carolina where we had our first Homegrown Leaders program, the Regional Leadership and Project Development, as well as our Rural Economic Development Institute. READY is one of our longest standing programs at the Rule Center, and we have over 1,100 graduates since 1989 that's been through this program. Through this program, we equip leaders across rural North Carolina with the tools they need to be successful. Rule Center programs focused on engagement helps communities articulate clear visions, invest in building their assets, and create cultures of collaborative problem solving. The Rule Center is proud to serve as the state's leading advocate for its 80 rural counties across the state. We make sure that we advocate for a voice that's informed by data, research, best practices, and most importantly, by the wisdom and diverse experiences of rural people. Some of our initiatives include our advocacy program, our Faith in Rural Communities program, our food and community development, and Step for Small Business programs. Under the Food and Rural Development Program, in 2016, the Rule Center partnered with USDA to launch the Rural Food Business Assistance Project. The goal of this program is to provide direct technical assistance and training to agribusinesses and build regional support networks of organizational stakeholders that support local farmers, value-added processors, and food service businesses. So some of the technical assistance and training services are provided to clients through one-on-one assistance, individualized assessments, and scholarships for business and development trainings. Our regional partners developed a core leadership group that included a broad set of stakeholders interested in supporting food businesses. Some of these stakeholders included local extension agencies, small business centers, local nonprofit, and civic groups. So in 2016, we began this work in 3 regions across North Carolina. These regions included the Western region, which is highlighted in blue. This work was led by the Southwestern Commission, and counties included Cherokee, Clay, Graham, Haywood, Jackson, Macon, and Swain counties. We also work with the Upper Coastal Plain region, which you will see highlighted in green. This work was led by the Upper Coastal Plain Council of Government, and the counties included were Edgecombe, Halifax, Nash, Northampton, and Wilson counties. We also work with the Sand Hills region, led by the Sand Hills Community College and Good Food Sand Hills Initiative, and this region is highlighted in purple. Those counties included Hoke, Montgomery, Moore, Richmond, Robinson, and Scotland counties. At the end of May 2018, We have provided technical assistance and support in the amount of approximately $9,914 to 143 clients in those 3 regions. We are currently expanding this program into 3 new regions across the state, and these regions include the Carter region, which you will see highlighted in the yellow. This is led by the Carter Region Council of Government. Those counties include Franklin, Granville, Person, Vance, and Warren counties. We're also working with the Albemarle Commission region, which includes the counties of Camden, Chowan, Currituck, Dare, Gates, Hyde, Pasquotank, Perquimans, Tyrrell, and Washington counties, and that's highlighted in the orange. In the Isothermal region, led by the Isothermal Planning and Development Commission in the red. And those counties include Cleveland, McDowell, Polk, and Rutherford counties. In our 3 new regions, we will work with lead partners to create a food business support network. We will also provide technical assistance and training scholarships to farmers, value-added processors, and food service businesses in those regions. We will continue to provide scholarships to farmers and value-added processors, as well as food service businesses in our current 3 regions. So clients from the 6 regions can enroll in our program through our website. So if you go to the Rural Center's website in the Food and Community Development page, you'll just scroll down and you will see an Apply Now button. Just to share with you what the program will pay for in terms of our scholarships, the program will pay for training and education, which includes tuition, books, and some course materials relating to business and business skills. We will pay upfront costs for approved training. And so what clients can do is they can contact me at the Rural Center, and they would share which course or which conference or training they would like to attend, and we will pay for those trainings. We will not reimburse clients. We have to, pay for the training from the Rural Center. We can also support courses at local community colleges that relate to the client's business. We can pay for online courses such as Ed2Go, QuickBook trainings. We do not pay for any type of degree programs. And so if anyone has any questions concerning the Rural Food Business Assistance Project, they can just contact me for more information. Last but not least, I wanted to share a little bit about some of the additional partners that we have in our program. We are currently partnering with the USDA Farm Service Agency department to provide workshops that give our farmers and landowners more information about programs such as eligibility forms that they might need to have in order to access Farm Service Agency programs. We also have a partnership with Community Food Strategies, and this is a group that works to empower local food councils across North Carolina. Through this network, we provide tools and training statewide. And so at this time, I'll pass it over to Jalisha to talk more about Thread Capital.
Hello, so I'm Jalisha, and I am a loan officer with Thread Capital, and I'll cover the Rural Center's lending portion and lending arm. So overall, when it comes to lending at the Rural Center, we offer capital up to $2.5 million, but specifically with Thread Capital, we directly lend up to $50,000. So I'll go more into that. But overall, we make sure that we understand that it's a critical resource to support existing businesses, as well as to enable emerging entrepreneurs to be successful. So the Rural Center in general has a goal to help support those individuals. So we have the 2 initiatives that include the Loan Participation Program and Capital Access Program, as well as Thread Capital. So when it comes to Thread Capital, we are a new subsidiary of the Rural Center, which was launched in May under the Rural Center to take over the direct lending portion of the Rural Center. So before, it was our microloan program, which we ran since 1987, and Thread Capital is now leading that work. So one of the main questions we're typically asked at Thread Capital is, who are our clients? So our clients are traditionally entrepreneurs looking to start or grow a small business when traditional lending and financing options are not available. So we're flexible and we want to make sure that it's equal access to capital across the state, and we work with those clients to ensure those needs. A few notes about Thread Capital. Loans are only part of what we offer. We also offer coaching and connections. So we work with partner agencies across North Carolina, including individuals such as yourself, so SBTC directors. We also work with small business centers, and we also work with other individuals to provide those coaching opportunities. And then we want to make sure that we also connect our clients with various connections across the states. So we make sure we keep that network open to assist everyone. Another thing about our programs is that monthly payments for the clients are deducted from business accounts. So we try to make sure that we even make sure we have connections with local banks and things of that nature. So we're helping our clients set up good practices in the beginning, so they have those bank accounts and separate out personal and bank expenses. All of our loans are business loans, but however, they are personally guaranteed. So we want to make sure that our clients understand that these loans do show on their personal credit, and they are personally guaranteed. These loans are personally responsible for these loans. And another thing is that all of our loans do require collateral, and things purchased with the loan may be used as collateral on those loans. Some basics of our loans include that for startups, we can offer up to $20,000, and we define anyone as a startup if you have less than 1 year of documented revenue. So if a client's been doing a business for a while and just doing it as a hobby, and they haven't been documenting their revenue, they fall into our startup bucket. And we try to help them develop those healthy entrepreneurship skills to go into bigger lending practices. So we want to make sure that they're documenting their revenue. We'll help either personally set up those revenue books and profit and loss statements, or we'll connect them to partners such as yourself. For existing businesses, we can go up to $50,000 capital. Our loans are termed up to 84 months, and there's no prepayment penalty. So the client can pay off the loan at any point, and they'll only have to pay the principal out at that point, as well as interest that has been accrued to that point. But there's no overall prepayment penalty. Some common uses for our loans include purchases of business equipment, so machinery and fixtures and furniture. Also purchases of supplies, materials, and inventory, working capital, leasehold improvements, and real estate purchases. So basically anything that a new or existing business could use up to $50,000 of capital for is what our loans can be used for. When it comes to our loan process, the basic documents needed include a completed application. We have an online application available through the threadcapital.org website. But then we also have paper applications as well. So if you have any clients that require paper documents, just please reach out to our team and we'll get a paper application out to you. We do require business and personal tax returns and bank statements. We'll look at those financials provided, including income statements and balance sheets. We'll need other things that's like details about the collateral they're offering, invoices about the things that they're looking to purchase or what the loan proceeds are going to. We want to make sure that our businesses are legal businesses, so we want to make sure they're filed with the Secretary of State. And if we have any clients that need assistance with that, we'll also connect them to resources to help them file their businesses as well. For startups, we would need a business plan as well as resumes, and we'll need financial projections and startup budgets and things of that nature to kind of help us understand where they see their business going. And all of our loans are looked at on an individual basis. So these are just basic documents needed, but additional documents may be needed on a case-by-case basis. To be eligible for our program, you must be 18 years or older, just the fact that it is a loan, so they have to be of legal age. They have to be either own a business or plan to start a business within North Carolina. Credit must show a successful repayment. We do have a target baseline of 575, but we look at unique circumstances when it comes to credit. And we just want to make sure that even if their past credit history has not been the best, that they're on track to improve their credit. And we can help when it comes to that as well. So we'll connect them with resources to kind of help them improve their credit. But we just want to make sure that they're on the track for that. And also our loans are reported to credit. So overall, if they're paying our loans back on time, that'll help improve their credit. Our loans are basically, the loan amounts are basically set with cash flow. So we want to make sure that there is significant cash flow to cover the loan expenses. So we look at not only the business cash flow, we also look at the personal cash flow, and we do what we call a global cash flow analysis. Because we understand that small business owners sometimes are their entire business. So we want to make sure that we are putting our clients in a healthy financial situation and that the loans can be repaid. So when it comes to our credit as well, there cannot be any unpaid or unsettled public judgments, current bankruptcies. If those things are on their credit report, but they have them settled, so they have payment plans, they've taken care of them, that is definitely okay. We just ask for a written explanation of what's going on with the credit. And then once again, we require all of our clients that once getting loan funds from us, that they establish a checking account, a business checking account. And once again, that's so we can help them establish healthy practices when it comes to separating out their business and personal financials. So even though we do try to help everyone to make sure that there's an equal access to capital across the state, there are some businesses that do not qualify for a loan through Thread Capital. And those include nonprofits. However, if that nonprofit does have a for-profit entity under it, they are eligible. So the for-profit entity could apply for the loan, but an overall nonprofit cannot apply for a loan through Thread Capital. Then other businesses include co-ops, anything with gambling concerns, floor plan concerns, speculation concerns, and other lenders and investment institutions, and then multi-level marketing or pyramid sales. So when it comes to our application process, typically we want the application to go from the overall process to be less than 30 days from the intake to closing the loan. And the way we separate it is once we receive the application, either the online or paper application, the lender gets 3 days, no more than 3 days, to review the application as well as set up a client interview. In that interview, we just want to make sure that we go over the financials provided on the application. We'll check the credit report, and then we'll walk the client through the next steps. As a business counselor, you can either decide to be included on the interview, or we can do the interview with the client themselves, and then just keep you updated along the process. Because we want to make sure that we keep you guys as partners updated on our process. So we'll try to make sure to tag you, to CC you on any email correspondence with the clients and things of that nature. So then once we do the interview, the clients will receive the list of required documents for their specific file. Once they get those completed documents into our office, we have a 15-day window to complete our review and get that loan to credit committee. We have an internal credit committee that looks at the loan file and do our due diligence, and we have a decision to the client within 15 days. Then when it comes to the closing and funding part, we once again reach out to you guys as partners out in the field to help assist with the closing of the loans. The closing process typically takes no more than 30 minutes. We've transitioned more to a DocuSign format, to which a lot of it is done via the computer, and we can actually do the process in person. Like, you can do the process in person with the client, or you can do it remotely using DocuSign. We leave that up to you and the client's preference. Once the loan closes, payments would start the next calendar month on the 1st. So we give them at least 30 days. So if a loan closed today, and with it being the 26th, their payments would not start until November 1st. So we make sure that we give the clients at least 30 days before payments start. So that's generally all of Thread Capital. If you have any additional questions when it comes to Thread Capital, please reach out to our team, and we'll also have a section for questions at the end of this webinar. So some announcements when it comes to the Rule Center. So if you've sat through this webinar and you're just trying to figure out ways to be involved with the Rule Center, you can definitely reach out for our programs, but then we also have a couple of times when we have events going out in the various areas of North Carolina. So one thing that we have coming up are our zero barrier policy roundtables. So this is the opportunity for you to join Rule Center staff as we set our state policy agenda for 2019. These talks we'll also send out the flyer when we send out the PDF for this webinar, but we'll go over broadband, health, as well as small business. Those on that flyer, it'll show the breakdown of the times of the events. You can come for any specific part of it. You don't have to stay for the whole day, but you can come for whatever part interests you most. And they're spread out across North Carolina. So once again, we'll include that flyer when the PDF is sent out. And then another exciting opportunity through the Rule Center is you can join us for our Rule Assembly, which will happen here in Raleigh, November 15th and 16th. So it's a 2-day event where we kind of celebrate Rule and just kind of look at the things that are going across North Carolina. And this year's topic are innovations. So we'll have a couple panel discussions on innovations, as well as a keynote speaker and other very exciting things. And we'll just make sure to keep you guys informed on that. So at this time, if you guys have any questions, please ask them. And then also, this is provided the contact information for myself and Jamila.
Thank you guys so much. This is Laura. We don't have any questions from the webinar participants, but I've got a question. I wonder if either of y'all could give an example of a couple of businesses that the Rural Center has helped develop, whether it's through the funding of educational programming that y'all offer, or direct assistance to new food, farming, or fishing businesses.
So we've had a lot of history with some of our clients. So we have some clients that fall in the Western region. They actually came to us back in like 2012, 2013, before me or Jamila were on the Rural Center team. But they started with one of our programs when we were helping to keep young entrepreneurs in their rural communities. So they came initially as clients of that program. We helped develop their business plans and make connections. At that point, they were in the farmers market. They received a loan through the Rural Center micro loan program to kind of help set up some working capital when it came to growing their business. So we assisted them through that program. Then they became clients of our rural food business program and did some trainings in Western North Carolina to make sure that they're up on their skills when it comes to being a business owner. And then more recently, we've also, that same set of clients, they came back to the Rural Center for a second loan to purchase a van for their delivery. So they're expanding across the state, and they needed some capital to purchase a van to help when it comes to delivering their products across their region. So we have those clients, and we want to make sure that we build clients and we make sure that we include them across our sets of offerings. So they've been a part of our lending program. They've been engaged with our engagement program, things of that nature. Do you have any examples, Jamila?
Some of our clients in the Sand Hills region, they have been able to access scholarship funding and attend conferences such as the Carolina Farm Stewardship Association conference. We've also had clients who were able to receive scholarship funding to attend some of the trainings associated with food safety. And so those clients, they haven't transitioned or they haven't decided to access capital, but they've been able to work with their small business center directors in their region and participate in some of our technical assistance programs.
Okay, great. Thanks you for those examples, y'all. I learned something today. I really didn't realize that the Rural Center supplied that level of funding for continuing education. So that is really good to know. How would a small business center director share that information with clients? Is there a place on the Rural Center website where it lists application procedures to receive that type of funding, or do folks have to meet with you directly?
Are you talking about for the Rural Food Business Program?
Yes.
Yeah, so the small business center directors can contact me. I do have flyers, and so I can share that flyer with them. If they are in one of the 6 regions and in one of the counties, their clients will be eligible to receive funding. So I can share that flyer with them, and then they can direct their client to our website where they can fill out our application form to be a part of our program.
Okay, great. Thank you. And one last question I want to ask y'all, since you have such a breadth of visual of what's happening in rural North Carolina around food and farming systems, are there any trends that you see that you think small business centers should be aware of and should be excited about informing their clients about?
That's a really good question. Jamila's thinking on it right now. I feel like we don't try to be an expert on what's happening across the states, and we kind of rely more on people in their local communities knowing what's happening. And then we want to help make sure that we connect them to other resources across the state. So when it comes to funding opportunities or making sure that farmers know about various programs like FSA and things of that nature, is what we stick more towards as our expertise. But when it comes to trends and things of that nature, we think that the local people have a better idea of what's happening in what works in their regions.
And just to add with what Jalisha mentioned, with our program that we had launched in our first 3 regions, the Southwestern region, the Upper Coastal Plain region, and Sand Hills, what we noticed was when they focused on the regionalism piece and coordination and collaboration amongst those 5 counties, and folks were able to create resource guides and really help business entrepreneurs, farmers network together. That really strengthened their business, and farmers and food business entrepreneurs know who to contact if they have certain questions. And so just looking at how we can work in regions and really strengthen the coordination and collaboration of, regional entities, I think is important for all of us to take a look at.
That's great to hear. That's something that that we have been promoting as well at NCGT, and it's been great to work with an eye towards regional food systems. I do think that that's a big opportunity, especially for rural areas, to collaborate together to supply urban food centers, and also to increase local food security. So I'm really glad to know that you're seeing that, Jamila, and that the Rural Center is supporting that. So the last thing, I would like y'all to plug your conference coming up in November. It's a fantastic, inspiring event, and we love to attend. But if you could just tell folks a little bit about what they might expect at that conference and why they should register and attend, I think that'd be a good idea.
So once again, the event that's happening in November is our Rule Assembly. So this year's topic is reviving the rule engine, local leaders diving into innovations. So we'll have the keynote speakers from authors. Our keynote speakers will be the authors of Our Town, who will be talking just about what they've learned about rural North Carolina and rural across the country. Then we also will have Bill Bynum to speak as well during the event. So it's a really great event where we bring in stakeholders as well as rural constituents from across North Carolina to Raleigh for a 2-day event to kind of learn more and to celebrate rural and to kind of see what's happening with everyone across the state. So it is a great event. Please register to come out and we'll love to see you there.
I got a question. This is from a business owner, and he says that his company helps to make rural wastewater treatment plant spray fields improve their water quality. And how can the Rural Center help him find a demo project site?
So if he can email either Jamila or myself, we will try to connect him to other people in the Rural Center who will have more expertise on that. So if we can get the contact information for him, we'll make sure to answer that question at a later date offline.
Okay, great. I will send you his contact information.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Do you have any questions? Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And it's, again, just wonderful knowing how resourceful the Rural Center is. I want to let everybody know we have 2 more webinars coming up. Our November speaker will not be available in October, so we're going to have 2 in November, or 1 in early November and 1 in early December to wrap up the year. It's hard to believe that I'm saying that 2018 is already wrapping up, but it's been a fantastic year of webinars, and we're so grateful to the Small Business Center Network and to Terry Brown at CCCC. So with that, I'm going to end for the day, and I wish you all well, and you will be receiving an email with this PDF, and as well as the link to the YouTube and the other resources that Jalisha and Jamila want y'all to have. So thank you so much, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Bye-bye.